Damian, I'll ask this one to you first. The question is, would you consider that the takeoff of solar in Indonesia and Sri Lanka was the result of a kind of increasing returns? For example, once a company microfinance institution had come on board, was it easier for others to then join?
Absolutely. It's always, it's really tough when you're the early mover in the market. If you're the one out there before any banks has come in, and you're one of the first companies on the ground, it's very difficult because you won't have finance. You'll be trying to sell to just a very select group who can afford it. And in the case of Sri Lanka, there was a company, the company that Shell invested in, who'd been operational for 15 years, or almost 15 years before Shell came in. And actually it was about 12 years. And they were, they had struggled for a long time. Once the microfinance player had come in, once Shell had established about 20 branches in the island, once there was a bit more noise around solar, it was everybody, even some of the earlier participants who had been there before Shell, as well as all the new participants, found it easier. They were all also able to get loans through seeds. Then, whereas banks before that had been very skeptical about coming in, 4 more banks entered. 4 more banks started participating under this World Bank program, and they started lending as well. So, of course, Schumpeter talks about this. He talks about the power of the entrepreneur in driving innovation. And it's only when, that innovation is in front of people's eyes and they see it that they start to believe in it, and they start to therefore follow and do the same. And indeed, the banks in Sri Lanka did the same. It's the same in Bangladesh. Bangladesh, it used to be just Bharat and Grameen Shakti. Now it's 15 players in that market, all financing and selling solar. It's a classic sort of industry takeoff where early entrepreneurs spotted the opportunity, got in, had to slog it out for a while, reached some point of takeoff, other people come in, and then you get a real industry developing. And we have the same here in India now, in the south, in Karnataka. And so very much that is how it happens.
Great, thank you. Okay, Mark, I'll ask you the next one. The question is, a problem I've seen in Central America is the increasing use of pirate equipment. There isn't market control to date, and no implementation of safety, quality codes and standards. Have you seen this in Africa? What have you done? And do you have any recommendations?
It's a wild, wild west out there. It's hard to have a government control on a product that crosses very porous borders. So what have we done? To my view, the best thing to do is educate consumers. An educated consumer is a good consumer. It's a do-it-yourself market. It's like in the U.S., you go into the hardware store and you buy what you need, and hopefully you buy the right thing. So I think the best thing we can do, rather than government controls and trying to prevent the bad things from coming in, educate the consumers. Maybe quality stamps that people understand. But it's a difficult problem, and it's hard to get around.
Okay, and I'll follow that with a kind of a related question that a few people have been asking about the usability of PV systems. And this person says, don't you think the PV systems should be designed to work in such a way that it is not up to the user to make them work properly? And I suppose that would carry on to good ones being identifiable as being kind of, the appropriate and proper ones.
A lot of time has been spent trying to engineer systems so that the user can't make mistakes. But it's different. I think in Indonesia, it's different in Sri Lanka, and when there's finance available, your options become different. But I think in Africa, a lot of people use a car battery and they understand a car battery. So trying to make a solar system that prevents them from to be able to access that positive and negative pole on the battery, and trying to control the consumer so that that they don't have control of how much battery they can take out, how much electricity they can take out of the battery when the World Cup is on. Consumers want to have a choice, but a lot of consumers go into battery credit debt. They become bad debts on and kill their batteries. So I think it's very difficult to solve the problem. Technically, though, we're getting there. And when we get better batteries, we're going to be able to solve a lot of the problem. The LED lights, the lower energy use lamps, and the what's coming out with the low cost lighting products, they're getting over the problems we had with solar home systems earlier on.